In any case, if you look at lightweight, Olympic lightweight build classes, so where most nations put in the best athletes, and at the corresponding heavyweight classes, you will find out that the world best times are not too far away from each other.
The thing is, if heavyweights would do their training like lightweights do, I think we could get the world best times down.
Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Aram, and you guys asked me to do a video on the following thing. What about body weight? How heavy do you have to be a good rower? Do you have to be heavy? Do you have to be light? Should you row lightweight? Should you row heavyweight? This video is all about, busting some of the myths that are out there. And I don't just want to talk about weight, I also want to talk about height. Alright, stay tuned, this is interesting, and I hope I can clear up quite a few myths here with simple, pure facts. Now, have a look here. The Sinkowicz brothers did a world best time at these, also famous Amsterdam World Championships. And I know Amsterdam was not the fairest of all courses in the world. Some lanes were exceptionally favored, some were not. Okay, still, if you were somewhere in the middle lane, chances were good you had actually quite decent and fair conditions. So, the Sinkowicz were, to my knowledge, put in a world best time of 5:59.72. Now look at the lightweight man's double scull in the same World Championships. 6:05. Now these guys weigh in at an average of 70 kilos. 7-0. And they're just 6 seconds slower. The thing is, the lighter you become at a certain level, the more energy you have to give up. So every time you lose weight, you also lose substance. And to all of you who have never rowed lightweight, talk to lightweights. Talk to them how hard it is to get with the weight down, because you have to bring your power up and you have to get your weight down. These are two contradicting trends. You cannot do both of them. So of course lightweights are weakened. Most lightweights who row lightweight are actually not natural lightweights. They force themselves to go down because they think it's easier. That's not true. Absolutely. I mean, in order to win the World Championships 2014 in the lightweight men's double scull, you have to be 6 seconds off the new world best time of the Sinkowicz brothers in the same competition. What does this tell us? What if the South Africans could have had a bit more weight and could keep more substance over the winter? I think they would be an even challenge to the Sinkowicz brothers back then in 2014. And this is true with many lightweights.
That sweet spot, to be very precise where it is, in my opinion, is the weight where you have the best watt per kilo ratio on a 2K race. But if you add a bit of weight in terms of just putting on muscle mass, more energy storage, everything you can use effectively during a race. I'm not talking about becoming fat, I'm talking about becoming stronger, having more reserves. This might bring you more watts comparatively than you put on weight. As soon as every bit of weight you add is not going to make you a lot faster, I think that's about where you need to stop.
Now, one of the arguments, to go back to that old story, you have to be tall and heavy, is if you test all your athletes on a linear ergometer that's static, of course this is going to favor the tall and heavy ones because you have to move with that mass. You just pull an air fan. But that's not rowing. In the boat, you have to carry your own body weight. So, in order to be efficient, there's a certain weight that is the optimum. I think you can be too heavy and you can be too light. Probably if you're below 65, 60 kilos as a man, this might be a challenge. And I think that's already quite pushing all the limits. And I think if you are somewhat above 100 kilos, this is becoming a challenge as well. Because carrying around 100 kilos in that boat, you gotta be very efficient for these 100 kilos. And with every kilo you have more, you also gotta have a corresponding more in terms of watts you can pull. Can you do so? Alright. Then you can get up the weight. But just becoming heavy because heavyweights are heavy, that's no use. It doesn't make you any faster.
The reason why lightweights are in comparison faster than heavies is very simple. Lightweights do the training in a more suitable way than heavyweights. think heavies count too much on the fact that they are heavyweights. And this might sound overly simplistic, but I think it's absolutely true. You can't just do a lot of weight training and say power, power, power. Rowing is not so much about pure power. Rowing is more about not disturbing the boat. Right now, as we see all of these lightweight categories gradually disappearing, for what reason soever, I'm not going to comment on that right now. It's going to be a very tough competition for all the heavyweights, because these lightweights, I mean, if they race around with 70 kilos, how much faster can they be if they just add 5 kilos of muscle mass? But the big danger about this one is very simply, if lightweights now think they need to add like 10 kilos or 15 kilos, this is not going to be effective. Rather focus on having your natural competition weight. And if that natural competition weight is 73 kilos, be it. If your natural competition weight is like 80 or 77, be it. Don't try to get up to 85 to 90, because heavyweights should have that. Is simply forget about weight limits and try to get your optimum watt per kilo ratio.
So the question is, what's the limit? When should you be a lightweight, when not? I think if you can be naturally a lightweight, then go for it. Naturally, I mean, how hard is it for you to consistently perform and live at 70 kilos average, or maybe 72 and a half if you rode a single? If it's very hard to get down, forget it. Go up. Yeah, but the heavies are so strong. Come on, the lightweights are not weak either. We just saw that. Okay, if you don't believe it, let's have a look at another boat. That was the double scull. Let's look at the 4. Amsterdam again. The Danes put in a staggering 543. A 543 in a men's lightweight 4. One of the best boat classes ever, I think. It's gorgeous. If we look at the men's 4, we see a 537 in Lucerne 2 years before that. So that's a difference of 6 seconds again. I know 6 seconds is, in a boat class that large, already quite a lot. But I wonder if you actually put the guys next to each other and had the Danes eat a bit more, because these are quite tall guys, so they have to be very, very thin. They lose a lot of substance. You lose fat you need, body fats you need for the nerves. You lose vitamins that are stored in your body. You lose a lot of energy compartments that are simply not there anymore. So the heavies had it. What happened if the Danes could actually eat what their body needed? I don't say they eat what they want, eat what their body needed, because most lightweights don't do it, and we know that. And what if they had a race next to the heavies? I'm not too sure if that would be a clear thing. I think if some lightweights got rid of the barrier in their head and say, I gotta be a lightweight because I'm only 180, or I gotta be lightweight because I'm only 77 kilos, forget it, don't worry. If you can be 6 seconds off, I know I compare it to different years, but still, if you can be 6 seconds off with 70 kilos average, how fast you're going to be with just 3 kilos more body weight? Because every kilo you gain in this low state, in these low levels of weight, you become a lot faster, a lot faster. So, and then if you pick up too much weight again, probably 85, 90 plus, you become slower, simply because you have to drag around that body weight. So the consequence is, forget the weight. That's what I tell my athletes. If you are naturally a lightweight, go for it. If you're not, forget it and go heavy. And just try to be fast, because in the end, it doesn't matter if you're light or heavy, you have to be freaking fast. And the few seconds that are the difference here in world best times don't matter. Let me give you another example, because you say, okay, you can't really compare world best times. Good. Last year, the Under-23 World Championships, picking the quarterfinal, not the final, very simply because the quarterfinal and of the men's heavy single scull and the quarterfinal of the men's lightweight single scull was actually on the same day. And I think it's just 1.5 hours difference. And I was there present and I saw both races, and there was almost no difference in weather. So we can compare this quite a lot. Unca Batista, it's a Brazilian guy. He did a 6:46. It's just crazy. The Brazilian rowing has picked up dramatically. So Unka did a 646 in a quarterfinal, and you know, we had so many boats in that under 23 lightweight men's single scull that you had to be very good just to make it to the semi. Making the semifinal was already a big thing. A 646, a 650 by the Italian, 651 by the Mexican, 653 by the Czech. So quite good level. Now let's have a look at the open weight single scull. Again, quarterfinal, same day. 657, 650, 650, 653. First of all, there were less starters, and that Brazilian would have smashed them all. And I'm pretty sure he would have. It's just 1.5 hours time difference. So what's the use? Why even worry about weight? Have a good winter training and then think, where am I? At which weight can I perform the best? I just want to bust that myth. It's not easier to row lightweight. It is not easier at all.